questions 1 through 10 on the 2006 Grade 8 AMC 8. Mindy made 3 purchases for $1.98, $5.04, and $9.89. What was her total to the nearest dollar? This is essentially just a addition question where you're just tallying up the 3 amounts. And if you do that and you add them, you will get $16.91. And therefore, the total to the nearest dollar is $17. So number 1, the answer is D. On the AMC 8 contest, Billy answers 13 questions correctly, answers 7 questions incorrectly, and doesn't answer the last 5. What is his score? On the AMC 8, your score is the number of correct responses. So, he answered 13 questions correctly, so that's his score. So number 2, the answer is C. Alisa swims laps in the pool. When she first started, she completed 10 laps in 25 minutes. Now she can finish 12 laps in 24 minutes. By how many minutes has she improved her lap time? Initially, it's 25 minutes for 10 laps. So each lap, it takes her 2.5 minutes per lap. And that's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And then later, she improves to 24 minutes for 12 laps. And if you do the math there, you get exactly 2 minutes per lap. So she went from 2.5 minutes per lap to 2 minutes per lap. So that's an improvement of a half a minute per lap. And therefore, number 3, the answer is A. Initially, a spinner points west. Chenille moves it clockwise 2 1/4 revolutions and then counterclockwise 3 3/4 revolutions. In what direction does the spinner point after the 2 moves? So, initially, of course, we've got a situation where it's pointing this way. And then 2 1/4 revolutions clockwise would bring it 1, 2, and then end up here, pointing up. And then 3 3/4 counterclockwise would bring it 1, 2, 3, and end up in the same place, but then another 3/4 going this way until you get to here. And therefore, that will be the position after those 2 moves. And that looks like it's pointing east. So number 4 is B. Points A, B, C, and D are midpoints of the sides of the larger square. If the larger square has an area of 60, what is the area of the smaller square? So let's label this. A is the midpoint, right? So from here to here, I'll just label that A. And from here to here, since A is the midpoint, that's also going to be A. So therefore, that whole side is 2A. And the area of that square would therefore be 2A all squared. And they tell you that is 60. So this becomes 4A squared is equal to 60. And therefore A squared is equal to 15. Now, since this is a square, this is also A. And this is also A. So this hypotenuse of this triangle, which is a right triangle, since that's 90 degrees, since this is a square, we can call that, let's call it B. So that means from Pythagoras, A squared plus A squared is equal to B squared. So that means 2A squared is equal to B squared. Okay? And therefore, since A squared is 15, 2 times A squared is 2 times 15. Which is equal to B squared, and therefore B squared is 30. And they want you to figure out the area of the smaller square. Well, the area of the smaller square will be B squared. And we just figured out that b squared was 30. So number 5, the answer is D. The letter T is formed by placing two 2-inch by 4-inch rectangles next to each other as shown. What is the perimeter of the T in inches? So it's a 2 by 4-inch rectangle. So this is 4 and this is 2. And then this is 4, this is 4, and this is 2. Now we just have to figure out these two values. Well, if you draw a little line from here to here, that's going to be 2. And from here to here is 4. So that means each of these most likely are 1 each. And there you go. So the perimeter, you just add up these numbers. 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. Just be careful that you do not include that because that's not part of the perimeter. And this is going to be, looks like 10 plus 10, so that's 20. So number 6, the answer is C. Circle X has a radius of pi, circle Y has a circumference of 8 pi, circle Z has an area of 9 pi. List the circles in order from smallest to largest radius. So, let's see here. So we got the radius of X, we got the radius of Y, and we've got the radius of Z. And radius of X, they tell you, it's pi. Okay, great. Radius of Y, well, they don't tell us that, but they tell us the circumference. Circumference is equal to 8 pi. Well, we know that the circumference is equal to pi d. So pi d is equal to 8 pi. And d diameter is 2 times the radius. And that is equal to 8 pi. So therefore, this means that r is equal to 4. And in particular, I'm referring to the ry. So this guy is 4. Now let's concentrate on rz. They don't give us the radius, but they tell us that the area of that circle is 9 pi. So that means that pi r squared is equal to 9 pi. So that means r squared in this case is 9. So this r is 3. And I'm referring, of course, to rz. So there you go. Those are the 3 radii, and we have to rank them from smallest to largest. Well, the smallest looks like rz, since that's 3. The next is going to be rx, which is pi, which is 3.14 in terms of its numerical value. And then the largest is ry, which is 4. So this looks like zxy is our order. Zxy is choice B. The table shows some of the results of a survey by radio station KAMC. What percentage of the males surveyed listened to the station? In this part of the survey, we have 136 total that listen to this radio station. Of those 136, 58 are female. So 136 minus 58 is going to be the number of males, and that is 78. So this number is 78. And then they tell you that the total is a question mark. Well, it was a question mark because we didn't know this part, but now that we do, we can put in that total. It's 78 plus 26, and that is 104. So the percentage of males that listen to the radio station is 78 over 104, and that is exactly 75%. So number 8, the answer is E. What is the product of 3/2 times 4/3 times 5/4 all the way up to 2006 over 2005? 3/2 times 4 over 3 times 5 over 4. Let's just write in one more, 6 over 5. And then it just keeps going like that until you get to the last one, which is 2006 over 2005. Well, a lot of these things will cancel. So 3's cancel, 4's cancel, 5's cancel, and it keeps on canceling. Everything will cancel, including that guy right there. So the only thing that's left at the end is this 2 and that 2006. So that leaves you with 2006 over 2, which is 1003. So number 9, the answer is C. Jorge, his teacher asks him to plot all of the ordered pairs WL of positive integers for which W is the width and L is the length of a rectangle with area 12. What should his graph look like? Well, we'll make a list, W and L. And let's see here. Well, the area, they tell you, is 12. How do you get the area of a rectangle? Well, it's length times width. So we have to put in integer values for W and L such that when you multiply them, they give you 12. Okay? Let's see, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, 6 and 2, and 12 and 1. Okay? And now let's just make a quick graph here. And let's see what our graph will look like. All right. It won't be beautifully drawn to scale, but that's okay. So we'll call this W, and we will call this L. So 112, so somewhere up there. 2, 6, so yeah, probably here somewhere. 3, 4, maybe here. 4, 3, about here. 6, 2, about here. And then 12, 1, somewhere over here. Okay? Not beautifully drawn to scale, but we get an idea. Now, which one of these, A, B, C, D, or E, looks anything like that? Only one. None of the other ones even come close. It's this one right here. This one looks like a diagonal just straight across. This is also a diagonal. This is a horizontal line, and this is a vertical line. And this is the A is the only one that kind of has this curve-like appearance. So there you go. Number 10, the answer is A.